G'day guys, I've had my Orange Pi 03 running as a dedicated headless server for a little while now, and it has been running flawlessly for around 3 months without any issues, which is pretty good. But I was curious to see if it could actually be used as a desktop PC. So today we'll be installing Orange Pi Desktop and seeing if it's actually any good as a full desktop PC. Just as a refresher, this little Orange Pi 03 features an ARM H618 quad-core CPU, and my variant has 2GB of RAM. We'll once again be using our Samsung 64GB micro SD card to run everything from, and since we only have a single full-size USB-A port, we'll also be using this cheap little USB hub. I'll also be connecting a USB keyboard and mouse to actually use it. Since this does use micro HDMI, we will need a micro HDMI to full-size HDMI adapter. I'll just be using this cheap 2-in-1 adapter. It has micro and mini HDMI converted to full-size HDMI. Let's get into it. We're over on our Windows 11 PC now, and to get started, we do have to download the OS image, extract it, and then write it to our SD card. I've just gone to the Orange Pi website and clicked on Orange Pi 03, and finally clicked on the download tab at the top. I will link this down in the description below. From here, we want to scroll down a little bit, and I think today we'll try Orange Pi OS. Just click on it to download. Should take us to a Google Drive folder. There's 2 files in there. One's the actual image, and the other is just a hash. We want to download the image. Just right click on it, and click download. Once it's finished downloading, we'll also need something to write the image to our actual SD card. For that, I always like to use Rufus. We've just gone over to rufus.ie, we'll scroll down a little bit, and I always like to download the portable version, which at the time of filming is 4.11p. You'll also need something to extract the image itself from the compressed archive. For that, I always like to use 7-zip. So if you don't already have it installed, go to 7-zip.org and download and install the correct version for your OS. If you're on a modern version of Windows, it's most likely going to be the top one, Windows 64-bit. Once everything's finished downloading, we can close off Chrome and open up our Downloads folder. Before we can write the image, we have to extract it from the archive. So just right-click on it. If you're on Windows 11, go to Show More Options, go to 7-zip, and go to Extract To. We'll open up the folder we extracted, make sure our image is in there. It is. It's around 6.18 gig. OPI, OS, Arch XFCE, OPI 03. Next, we want to insert the SD card we'll be writing our image to. Go back to our Downloads folder, and we'll open Rufus. At the very top, under Device, make sure your SD card is selected. For me, it was by default, since that's the only removable drive. Under Boot Selection, make sure it says Disk or ISO Image. To the right of that, click Select. Navigate to where we extracted our Orange Pi image. So for me, under Downloads, inside this folder. And double-click on the image itself. Once you've triple-checked you have the correct device selected, at the very bottom, click Start. Just be aware you will lose everything on this SD card, so make sure it's either blank or you've already backed everything up. You should get a warning saying you're going to lose all the data on the device that you've selected. Once you've checked it is the correct device, click OK. Once it's finished writing, we can close off Rufus and safely eject our SD card. Let's move back over to our Orange Pi 03. We've got everything plugged into our little TV now, so we'll power it on for the first boot. We've got a red light on the Pi, now it's flashing green. Hey, looks like we've got a signal. We've got a cursor at the top left of the screen. We've got the Orange Pi logo. I think it's working. We've got the cursor again. It's been about 15 seconds. Hopefully it's doing stuff in the background. Got a mouse cursor. It's a good sign. I'm guessing it's so slow to boot because it's the first time. So finally at the desktop, Orange Pi rolling. Looks like we have our initial setup. We'll go next. American English, that's fine. We'll keep it as the New York time zone. No real difference. Standard US QWERTY keyboard. Go SJSL, tech. I'll put a password in. We want it to log in automatically, and we'll use the same password for the admin. It's usually not a good idea to use the same password for the admin account or root account, but I don't plan on using this permanently, it is just for this one video. We'll go next. Everything looks good, and we'll click Setup. It says it's configuring locals. There we go. I was tempted to click Next, but it looks like it is doing stuff. Perfect. It does want us to restart, so we'll click Next, or just click Done, I guess. So it's fully powered off. It should restart in a second. There we go. Hopefully this boot is a lot faster. That did not take long at all. It went straight from a black screen to the desktop. That's pretty good. So we've got a little welcome screen. We don't want to launch that at start every time, so we'll just close that off. I forgot to mention that this board does have built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, which is a nice feature. But before we connect to our Wi-Fi, let's take a look at what's pre-installed. I do like the fact that the taskbar is at the bottom. You can obviously move it around though. It's a little bit similar to Windows. We'll go All Applications. Actually, no, we'll go Accessories. You've got Calculator, Bulk Rename, that could be handy. Notes, Mousepad, a File Manager, and Vim, which is just a text editor. Go to Graphics, Image Viewer, Internet. It does have Chromium built in, that's nice. SSH server and VNC server, so you can access this remotely. Go to Multimedia, MPV, so we can play movies, and music obviously, and SM Player. Go to Other, that's just the Orange Pi stuff. Settings, Appearance, so GTK, High Contrast. Oh, it changes it on the fly. The dark theme's not too bad actually. I don't mind that. What's High Contrast? I guess it's just High Contrast. We'll leave it as default, close that off. What's under system? It looks like it is based on Manjaro, or at least it lets us install Manjaro. There's HTOP, which shows you system processes, sort of gives you a breakdown of what's running, task manager, and terminal. Not too much else here. I think we'll start off by connecting to our Wi-Fi. So thankfully my wireless is detected, but I'm not surprised since this image is designed for this board. We'll connect to it, and it's connected. I think we'll start by opening up Chromium, and we'll try and install uBlock. I do have to update my date and time, that's fine. Just looking now, it is set to 2024. We've got applications, system maybe, or settings. Can't see it there. I'm right click on it, properties. There we go. Will it let us auto update? We'll set the time zone as Sydney. It looks like it has auto updated, so that's good. Close that off, and if we refresh, there we go, that works. Looks like we are stuck using light, it's fine. We'll pin it as well. And I think we'll start off with some YouTube playback. I believe this does not have GPU acceleration, so we're doing everything in software. That's fine. And I guess we'll try one of my shorter videos. It's a pretty creepy game, this one. So it's on 480 by default. We'll see if we can do 4K. I don't think it will because there's no graphics acceleration. It's buffering. We'll open stats for nerds. It's a little bit laggy, but not too bad. Full screen and play. Nah, it doesn't like 4K, so we'll go down to 1080. It's still trying to load. It doesn't look good. We'll quit out of full screen. You can see there's no network activity whatsoever. I might refresh the page, see if that helps it. It really is struggling. I might open HTOP just to see what's going on. Was that under system? HTOP. So not much is happening. The CPU isn't being thrashed, so it's not that. Close that off. Try again. There we go. Not too sure what happened there. So we are on 1080 still. I'll go stats for nerds. Full screen. You can see it is a little bit glitchy. I have gone full screen, but it didn't. Try again. We are losing some frames still. If you look at the very top left under stats for nerds, it looks like around a quarter of them. Visually, it is a little bit stuttery as well. Oh, we're on 720. We'll force it to 720 because it wasn't quite. It struggles even with 720p. I guess that's because of the lack of GPU acceleration. What about 480? Can we get that playing smoothly? We're still dropping frames at 480. We'll go back to the start of the video. I mean, visually it's not too bad, but we are dropping heaps and heaps of frames. Right, 360? Will 360 play? Even 360 is dropping frames. 240 maybe? Surprisingly, 240 is also dropping frames. It looks like it just can't drive this display fast enough. That's the problem. So out of the box, I would say YouTube's a bit of a fail. There also seems to be no sound. I'll just make sure there's sound on my TV. Maybe audio mixer, see if we can get some sound out. See if we can select HDMI. There is no HDMI. Can I change it? Ah, okay. So it looks like it was defaulting to a different sound device, but I changed it to the second built-in audio stereo, which I'm guessing is HDMI. And if we replay it, an optional donation, and as always, I will link. There is sound. So sound's fine. It was just defaulting to a different audio device. We'll close off Chrome for now, and I think we'll try some local media playback. I've just connected a flash drive with some test media. We won't go straight to 4K. We'll try H.264 1080p. Can we just double click on it, or do we have to? Yeah, it looks like it is assigned to MPV. The butterfly's wings looks like it's struggling. I'm not sure if we can get information or stats or anything like that on this. Don't really use MPV, but visually it is struggling. We'll close off the 1080p. We'll try Xvid 480p. This is usually quite easy to run on modern CPUs. Even that's stuttering. Yeah, that's pretty terrible. I'm guessing once again, it is just lack of graphics drivers. So far, it's not really suitable for any kind of local or online media playback. At least video. Audio will be fine, obviously. Why don't we go back into Chrome and we'll try some old open source RuneScape versions. We'll start with Runescape Classic. We'll go Preservation. Web client, obviously. And we'll go World 1. Didn't take too long to load. We'll go Existing User. We're logged in. See how smoothly it plays. It's actually not that bad at all. It is obviously windowed. We go to camera mode, manual. There we go. Yeah, RuneScape Classic Online's pretty smooth. And there's sound effects, I don't know if you could hear it. So that's pretty cool. You could use this to play RuneScape Classic. Not too sure why you would have this set up just for that though. We'll quit out of this and try 2004scape. Click I understand, go play game. We'll go low detail, and we'll use the Australian world, world 9. Go to click I understand. And once again, it is stuck on connecting to update server. It might be the ad block. We'll disable that. We'll refresh it. I'm not too sure what actually causes this issue. I did have the same problem on Ambien for the R36S. I may raise a support ticket just to see if they are aware of it. We'll close off this and we'll see if there's a built-in package manager. There doesn't seem to be one, at least not that I can find. Actually, it does have an app store. It's called the Orange Pi Store. I'll open that up. It does mostly seem to be in Chinese. That is interesting. I wonder if there's a language setting somewhere. It won't let us go full screen for some reason. That's weird. Go to categories. Take a look at some games, maybe? It's a little bit slow. So clicking game doesn't seem to be doing anything at all. We'll give it a second just in case it's loading. There might not be any games actually. We'll try video, network. So there's no games. Image. Annoyingly, we can't go full screen. That's probably because of my desktop resolution. See if we can change that under settings. So we can go up to 1080, apply. We'll go keep. So at least everything fits now, but still no games. That is disappointing. Educational maybe? Scratch, Office, other. So there's not really much in here to download. We might close off the Orange Pi App Store. A little bit slow now. It is lagging. Determine is the option. That's funny. I might change the resolution back down because it does seem to be having a bit of a bad time updating such a high resolution without a graphics driver. Go back down to 1360 by 768 and we'll keep it. We'll open up terminal. We'll do sudo pacman ss for search and we'll see if there's 2048. Enter my password. So there is 2048. We'll do sudo pacman-s 2048. I guess we do have to put the full title. So extra / gnome-2048. Go yes. It did not download. Can we do it again? Yes. Too many errors from there. Okay. I'm guessing it is just a repository issue, but I think we'll leave it there for today. While the Orange Pi 03 makes a really good low-end server, I would not recommend getting it to use as a desktop PC, at least not with Orange Pi OS. There are full desktop, Ubuntu, and Debian images available on the Orange Pi website, so we might try one of them in the future, but I would call Orange Pi OS a bit of a failure. It struggled playing any kind of movies, either locally or from YouTube. The built-in app store is pretty bad, and the default repositories were also pretty horrible. We weren't even able to install anything. I would say, unfortunately, Orange Pi Desktop is best avoided. I think that'll do it for today. If you have any questions or comments, let me know down below. Otherwise, thanks for watching.